right. And for our second match of the night, GNL Fight Night, in the second episode of GNL Fight Night, we have our first official GNL sanctioned match between Torii and Guns. Torii on clutch or kick, Guns on down under. Let's go to the tail of the tape and see what our opponents are up against today. You see Torii there on the left, Guns on the right, 1000 MMR category. We have their stats there, Undead versus Orc. Both players in the bronze division right now. Torii, longtime GNL player, Guns participating in Season 8 of GNL. So there's the tail of the tape. Without any further ado, let's jump on into the action. Game 1 out of our best of 3 series will be played on Autumn Leaves. And you see the name is Sugar13, but it is Guns, I promise you. It's his AKA. Torii, been practicing quite a bit with the coaches, plays with GNL coaches quite a bit, very active in the GNL community. She will be going Fiends, likely DK coming out as well. Going up against, looks like a Grunt opener. So Mr. Guns going Blademaster Grunt opener against Undead DK Fiends, I am assuming. There's the late DK, but what this gets you is a couple more Fiends coming out. That's the trade-off you make here with this build order for the Undead player. Guns, Grunts, Blademaster coming in out. Blademaster, a hero I have always said, easy to learn, difficult to master, has quite a high skill ceiling, I would say. The ceiling capability of the Blademaster is very high. If you want to see it for yourself, Hitman plays the Blademaster extremely well. We'll see just how Guns handles the Blademaster himself. DK is out. Should have 2 Fiends just about out as well. So 2 Fiends and the DK going to make creeping quite a bit easier.
A player's forces are under attack.
Blademaster trying to get up to level 2. Put on that early pressure onto the Undead. Check it back on the tech. Sugar, a.k.a. Guns, moving right on up to Tier 2. Torii still on Tier 1. Going to be producing a couple more Fiends as well. Going to get that DK on up to level 2 with the next creep camp. Has the Skellies, has the Rod. A couple Fiends as well. I don't think my Warcraft music is working. But it's okay. I don't think we need it. Torii going for the level 2 with this camp. Gets the nice claws. That's going to be quite helpful. Has the Ritual Dagger. Will help with healing. Will also help with some denies. We've been seeing some Undead players use it. Blademaster continuing on creeping. Looking for that level 3. Will he take the level 2 Windwalk or the critical strike? That's the question. Checking out the macros again. Torii about 30% of the way onto Tier 2, but 65% for Mr. Guns. Mr. Guns got the War Mill coming on up as well, and now we might get our first encounter of the game. Blademaster targeting the Crypt Fiends, as are the Ghouls. Nice coil onto the Fiends. Torii moving on into a safer position. Doesn't want to be so exposed next to the natural. Gun's going to clean up the remainder of the camp. Blademaster's going to be able to put on a lot of pressure with these 4 grunts as well. It's going to be tough for Torii to hold off these 4 grunts right now. The 4 grunts, a lot has been invested into them, so each grunt kill will be extremely valuable for Torii if she can close them. Has the Windwalk going to put some extra pressure, buys the dust, pops it right away, has reveal on the Blademaster. We'll be able to help out, get some more healing onto the Crypt Fiends. Crypt Fiends continue to focus fire down some of the grunts of Guns. Guns has a couple weak grunts right now, has 2 salves to get them healed back up if necessary. And Torii able to hold off this attack for the time being. Gun's going to retreat back momentarily. Meanwhile, the Shadowhunter will be the hero of choice coming on in next. More focus fire onto the grunts. Each grunt kill going to be really valuable, but first Fiend going to be microed back just a little too late. As one grunt falls, that's a good trade right there. Grunts for Fiends all day, but going to need to be careful. Going to get on out of there. TP'd out. 2 grunts for 1 Fiend and a TP. Not a bad trade at all. Those grunts, very valuable, 200 gold apiece. So maybe about 100 gold deficit for the exchange for Torii right there. But buying that TP is instant. Just costs a little bit of gold. And now, just like that, the supply for Guns down to 28. Meanwhile, Torii's sitting at 30. As the Fiends continuing to be produced. Lich going to be coming out. Lich is going to want to buy that orb as soon as he comes out. Think about that 3rd hero and get that slaughterhouse down for some statues. Meanwhile, Mr. Guns potentially going Raiders. See that quite often against Undead, being able to lock down those statues, get ensnare on the statues. Going to continue on creeping, wants to get the Shadowhunter up to level 3. And if he were to do the Hitman style, send this Blademaster out, keep following your opponent around, just let the Shadowhunter creep up to level 3 with the grunts. You have plenty of damage to get it done. If you hadn't lost those 2 grunts earlier, you'd have plenty of damage. Stressing the importance of not losing those units early on in the game, because your main goal here is not to win that early, but to preserve your army to be able to get that 2nd hero up to level 3. If you're quick enough, you can just follow your opponent around all over the map with the Blademaster, steal a lot of creeps, steal a lot of items. Be extremely efficient with your mid-game creeping. Shadowhunter now up to level 2. Wand of the Wind going to be quite helpful. Going to be able to put 2 Fiends up in the air if necessary. Torii going to really want some statues coming out soon. Going to really help with the mana and health regen, be able to sustain all of this creeping. Meanwhile, getting the Lich up to level 2 will be very helpful, as this melee-heavy army will be quite vulnerable to spells like Frost Armor. Picks up the rings, going to get repositioned. Wants to try to take down this Trapper. Does get the Fiend healed back up, but the Death Knight in very vulnerable position. Needs to be careful. Quite exposed in the front. Guns chasing Torii down right now. Torii has the movement speed to get out of there. And now Gun's going to claim the remainder of the shop and the remaining Berserker. So Gun's now sitting at 43 supply. Torii trying to produce some more. Love to see a statue coming out soon. Lich also needs his orb. And start thinking about that 3rd hero. Cloak of Shadows won't be as useful, seeing as your opponent likely is always going to have a dust in the inventory, expecting the Windwalk. So going to get minimal use out of that. Might just want to sell it. Transitioning on into Headhunters. Has the Raider, has the Ensnare upgrade. Is Torii thinking about putting some pressure on the Orc base, but going to pivot last second. Rotate left. Check the Expos, perhaps. Some indecisiveness in the middle of Autumn Leaves right now. Costing precious time. Caught the Acolyte out of position, potentially going for an Expo, but that is now off the table. So nice pick off there by Guns, sitting at 51 food, just over upkeep and not able to really take advantage of breaking further into upkeep. So going to sit at 51 food. Definitely don't want to sit there for too long, or at least sacrifice a peon to get back into no upkeep. If you're gonna push upkeep, push it, baby. Push it into 80. Torii back at home base to defend. Has some statues coming out. That's going to be very helpful. Wand of the Wind used on the Death Knight first. Nova going out, takes down a Grunt. More Focus Fire onto the Grunts as Guns looking to get some Focus Fire onto the Fiends. DK now gets hexed. Not going to be able to heal anything. Gets the first Death Coil off. That's level 2. Wand of the Wind being used yet again. Blademaster focusing down some of the weak Fiends. Another Fiend falls. Focus Fire now onto the Headhunters. Lich has the orb, and it's really helping out a lot with the auto attacks, but the DK vulnerable right now, exposed to the front, has a potion vulnerability, popped it a little bit late. Next Fiend falls. Blademaster continuing to chop down the remainder of the Fiends. Death Coil almost ready to use on this last Fiend, but not quite. 2 Fiends remain versus 2 Headhunters and 2 heroes. Each statue going to help maybe push the advantage into Torii's favor, as the one Grunt giving the supply advantage to Guns right now. Gonna want to get another statue out and keep producing these Fiends. Think about your third hero as well, and it looks like it's just gonna be enough to push Guns back, as back in the base, potentially a miss rally. The Raider Kodo sitting at home. This Kodo would love to eat a Crypt Fiend right now. These Raiders definitely gonna want to entangle a couple statues. Both players back into no upkeep.
Players' forces are under attack.
Torii getting that second statue. Continuing to train some of the Fiends. Maybe you want to think about Destroyer upgrade to handle some of these Grunts. Magic damage on the Grunts. Very effective, but not really much to devour at the moment. No Bloodlust. Looks like the rally has been adjusted on the Bestiary, so good correction there from Guns. Torii potentially has her eyes set on the red camp. Be a big item to claim here. Gonna pull it out with the Fiend.
Are under attack.
Meanwhile, Guns gonna head down south. You may have control group on movement formation. I see your Blademaster moving a little bit slow. So Guns, if you're watching this back, turn your icon from this triangle, I'm down in the left corner of the minimap here, into the scrambled button. You do not want it to look like a triangle, or you're going to move as slow as your slowest unit. All units move at the same speed in the same control group with this button on. It's going to really hurt you long term. Nobody plays with it on, and a beautiful item, the Battle Drums. Going to get increased attack damage. All units going to really enjoy this buff, as Guns makes yet another nice timing. Going to catch Torii's second Expo attempt. The first one wasn't really an attempt. It was just an Acolyte there, but this one was a full attempt. Not quite going to get it. Guns taking advantage of the visibility, and Torii at 36 supply right now. Definitely going to want to pump those numbers up. Get some more Fiends, potentially maybe an A-bomb or two for some frontline presence. Got both statues. And now Torii going to get into a very defensive position to be able to hold this attack off. Ziggurat canceled, getting some damage onto the Raiders. First Raider down. Torii in a pretty good position. Has a lot of Ziggurats in the Rubian and the Black Citadel to help with this. Unfortunately, the Death Knight Hex going to need to get a coil on that Lich. Lich falling really low, gets coiled immediately. But Lich continuing to fall further and further down. Blademaster has his eyes set on the Lich. Another coil just in time on the Lich. Blademaster not able to secure the kill. Lich going to need to back up again. The Blademaster focusing down a third coil onto the Lich. Pops the preemptive Dust of Appearance. Has her eyes set on the Blademaster, who falls. And now the coil going onto the Fiend, who unfortunately fell right before. And Torii's held this off beautifully. 36 supply, being able to push Guns back. So much focus fire, and the long distance coil securing yet another Headhunter kill. Really nicely played there. Unfortunately, see the movement formation still toggled on by Guns. So Guns definitely turn that movement formation off. You can see all your units are moving as slow as the Kodo Beast right now. And Torii now smells blood in the water of Autumn Leaves, wants to push back, return the favor of all this pressure. Orb of Corruption dealing a lot of extra damage. You can see the -4 now taking amplified damage. Has more death coils ready to use offensively. Another Headhunter falls. And now only 3 units remain on top of the Shadowhunter. And now this is looking like Torii's game. Not much hope left for Guns. Guns stuck with the Torn Chieftain in production, not able to get the Blademaster out. Torn Chieftain could be a game changer with the Blademaster available. But because the Blademaster is not here right now, bought the Potion of Mana, unfortunately popped it and died with it. And that's just salt in the wound. Second hero falls. Torii. It's looking like she's going to take game 1 with a miraculous comeback in the main base. Gets the level 5. Secures this Fiend. Takes down the rest of the kills. Guns calls GG. And well played by Torii, who takes the series 1-0. All right. And GGWP. We'll be waiting for game 2. We're going to jump right in there. So both players playing quite well. A lot of room. A lot of changes that can be made. Alterations to the strategy to further optimize everything that they're doing. So they'll be talking with their coaches behind the scenes, figuring out what they need to do to adjust. This is anybody's series. Anybody's series. So we'll see how Guns makes the adjustments. And again, Torii with a great defense at the main base. Got the clutch coils off 3 times in a row. The Lich was in danger of dying for about 30 straight seconds. And thanks to attentiveness from the Death Knight, was able to preserve it, keep it alive. Well played. We're ready for game 2. All right. So what'd you all think? That's game 1. We still got a couple left. Players are just figuring out the semantics right now. They're going to get this game rehosted. We're going to get right back into the action. So just catching up on chat here. Undead shit hacked. Told you Torii was a god. Torii played well. She certainly did. Or killer. Yeah, would love to see Frost Armor from Torii. That would have helped quite a bit. Also earlier statues. That would have helped out a lot too. So more attention to the macro. At this level, you don't have to worry so much about the fancy stuff in the battle. Macro, I think, is far more important at these lower levels. So making sure you have those statues, making sure you have that second hero right on time, the third hero right on time, the orb, all of that stuff. And same goes for the orc player. Shadowhunter being out on time, Shaman or Raiders or Kodo Beast, whatever you have coming in Tier 2. Make sure they're built on time and the rally points are set. That was definitely a weakness from Sugar, a.k.a. Guns, not getting the rally points set from the Bestiary. So had 3 units just camping at the home base, 2 Raiders and a Kodo. A lot of missed opportunity there, and losing the Grunts early on made creeping in the mid-game quite a bit more difficult. So you can see how those early mistakes snowball into later mistakes. So overall, minor things to fix. These aren't crazy. These aren't like complete mismanagement or misunderstanding of the game. You're building the right units. Just focusing more on the macro, more attention to the macro. I think will do wonders for both of these opponents. Players are ready. Looks like we're playing on Oceania. Oceania. How do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce Oceania? Oceania. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think it is. I don't know. Is that Carson with a raid of 21? Wait, Carson? Is Carson streaming? Is he streaming? So when does he do things like that? I didn't know he was a streamer. Well, Carson, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it, buddy. You're here just in time for Game 2 of Torii versus Guns. About to jump right into the action. Game 2 is going to be played on Northern Isles. I don't think my alerts are going off either, because I don't think I saw it. Yeah, my alerts aren't going off. I don't know why. Oceania, says Grinchy. And then we have Nether Gaming saying Oceania. And then Shaw McNabb with the Oceania. I'll tell you this. I still don't know how to pronounce it after all the help. Yeah, not sure what happened to my alert box, but maybe I gotta fix it. Oh, did it change? Maybe it changed. Oh, a little lag spike there. Looks like the alert box is different. Okay. There it is. There it is. All right, we'll see if it works. I hope it works going forward. So again, thank you so much, Carson, for the raid. I hope you had a good stream. I'll have to run that back and see what you were up to tonight. I didn't know you were streaming. Welcome to the Twitchverse. Torii. Similar strategy to Game 1, going for the early Fiends, going for the Death Knight. The later hero favors having the extra Fiends available. Guns, going to stick to his guns of Game 1. Going to go for the Blademaster Grunt opener. Looking to optimize a couple things this game. Big things for Guns. First thing and foremost, turn off the movement formation toggle. If you haven't already, hope you do soon. Lesson 2, make sure those rally points are set. Definitely got a lot of units stuck at the main base last game. It's quite unfortunate. And number 3, keep that Blademaster moving. Definitely didn't get the right end of the stick. Focus firing down the Lich. Death Knight was there with the heals. And the Blademaster paid the price. Torii cleaning up the bottommost green camp of Northern Isles. And gonna pick up the claws. Very nice pickup there. Blademaster has the replenishment potion. Took quite a bit of damage on the Blademaster. Gonna need to pick up a salve now. Get topped off. See if he sells the scroll as well. And some unfortunate lag spikes at the moment. The server in the middle of the ocean. A little laggy for us, a little bit. Picks up a cloak of her own. Now both heroes have the cloak. As Gun's gonna head on down, is gonna look for Torii. 3 Fiends, 3 Grunts. We'll see who gets the better of this encounter. Also going to be fighting over the creep camp. Blademaster going to get started on the ensnared Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend going to take quite a bit of damage from these Grunts, the normal damage and the hero damage. Coil in time, going to get the Fiend healed up to about 65% health. Death Knight almost getting surrounded by the creeps, and the Blademaster would have been quite the assistance from the creep camp there, but Death Knight taking a lot of damage. Now pops the speed scroll, going to use it offensively, going to try to chase down the Death Knight, but going to be met with the robustness and resilience of the undead base. So hard to push into. As 4 grunts remain, quite an improvement from game 1, where Guns lost 2 grunts in the early game. Some of the focus fire of Torii's Crypt Fiends. Necropolis about 65% done. A late tech, I would say, from Guns.
The player's forces are under attack.
Definitely want to tech that quite a bit earlier, getting up to tier 2. First grunt gonna fall, and each one of these grunts is a big loss from Guns. Need these grunts. We saw it in game 1. It made creeping the Shadowhunter up quite a bit more difficult. Only having 2 grunts instead of 4. That's a really, really big difference. 1,400 hit points more to soak of creep damage missing with just 2 grunts dead. Not to mention the DPS output, but, I mean, these guys are really here to just tank some damage. Torii going to go for the natural. But going to be met, thanks to her patience, not going to get that creep camp started. Is going to be able to fend off this next wave from Guns. Guns now transitioning into Headhunters alongside the grunts. So we're going to have 4 grunts, 2 Headhunters coming on up. Blademaster gets the Ring of Regeneration. Speaking of Carson, one of the items he's quite fond of. And going to be able to clean up this camp that much closer to level 3. Meanwhile, Torii is going to go for the Tuskar camp and will get level 3 from this. The level 2 Death Coil going to be a nice addition to her arsenal.
A player's forces are
Halls of the Dead is done. Going to want to see this Lich coming out soon. There it is. Scroll the Beast. Going to be quite helpful in the next attack. Meanwhile, Guns going to clean up the Nerubian camp. Wanda Lightning Shield will be helpful. It took the level 2 critical strike. Blademaster going to start doing a lot of damage now. Might even want to buy a circlet out of the shop just to help scale a little bit better. Blademaster would love a claws right now. But unfortunately, Torii has the claws. Taking a bit of damage on the Fiends. Death Coil there to preserve. Again, want to get those slaughterhouses up as early as possible. The statues are so valuable to the undead army. Health regen, mana regen, and as you can see now, not able to get these Crypt Fiends healed back up. Probably would have had the mana if the statue was online. Ring of Regeneration again. Oh, unfortunately left behind. Love to see that go and get picked back up. That's a big item. Don't want to leave that one behind. Does have 2 claws now. Did he buy one at the tavern? I'm not sure, but found 2 claws in his journey. And now the level 2 critical strike really going to start stacking. Shadowhunter just like game 1. Bestiary coming out. Going to see some raiders. Going to see the ensnare. Double mana pot, double heal salve. This support hero is ready to support. Has the heal wave. Gonna have a lot of sustainability. Gonna be well equipped for hit and runs. Would probably love to see a scroll of speed as well to assist with the hit and runs. And we're gonna see the first Fiend potentially fall. Frost Armor did go out, but a little late. Want to see some more Frost Armor on these Fiends who are getting attacked. And nice focus fire onto the Shadowhunter. Unfortunately, didn't close the kill. Has the offensive coil now. A little bit of a hiccup there in the ping. And Torii's Death Knight paid the price for that. Statue, unfortunately, out of position. And Sugar closing the gap. Torii unhappy with the lag spike, I am sure. Never want to go out that way. Halls of the Dead. Plenty of gold to go to tier 2. As a statue, going to need to get that Death Knight.
Player's forces are under attack.
Now Guns, a Shadowhunter down, is going to continue creeping up. The Blademaster has quite an advantage right now. Death Knight bought back instantly from the tavern, had the gold, had the resources to do it. Hopefully going to tier 3 soon as well. Raider out of position, very vulnerable, and another lag spike, unfortunately. This is going to be tough. Has the TP to get out of here if Torii needs to. Fortunately, has a lot of skeleton minions to deal with now. Guns not able to kill any of the Crypt Fiends. Torii did get out in time, but Guns, sitting with the 42 supply, still has the advantage at the moment. Gonna want to see those Raiders get replenished. The ensnare on those statues going to be really effective to help secure those kills. Every statue kill is a big blow to the undead army. Servers Oceania 1. So having a couple spikes here, but not horrible, but not great. Definitely not great. Seeing some rubber banding happening. And sometimes it unfortunately happens at the worst times.
A player's forces are under attack.
But our players are going to push through it. Torii going for the red camp, not letting it bother her. Pressing forward, going to get level 4 on the DK. Probably also going to get level 2 on the Lich. Got the level 2 on the Lich. Got the level 4 on the DK. Has the level. Will have the level 2 on Holy Aura soon enough. And Frost Nova. Going to really start being able to be offensive with the spells. And the nuke is now online. Especially once level 3 and level 5 are here. The nuke is going to be fully realized. But also want to save some mana for the Frost Armor. Frost Armor against the Grunt Army. Very strong, very powerful. Unfortunately, some more rubber banding at the moment. But no consequences of that right now. So we're okay. Crypt continuing to produce. Torii TP'd on back, and just deja vu from game 1. We saw how strong Torii was in the defense. 46 supply to 42 supply. Gets ensnared. He's going to lock in the 4-point surround. Has the diamond formation. Death Knight is stuck. No TP. Death Knight is going to pay the price. Beautiful surround by Guns. GG is called. Oh, that's not the winner. That's the winner. Well, was the winner. I don't know where he went. He's shy. He's camera shy. There he is. There's your winner of game 2. Guns. Congratulations. Taking it to game 3. Well done. All right, and just like that, we're all tied up. Guns 1, Torii 1. And this time, let's find a better server for this game. Make sure. The last thing we want is the server to be the reason somebody loses. Definitely don't want that. Cookie Monster, thank you for the follow. Not quite sure why my alerts aren't working today. They're being very... My alerts are misbehaving today. They are misbehaving. I don't hear it in my headphones. Value snack followed. I heard that. And Cookie Monster. Oh, I know what's happening. It's coming out of my speakers. I have no idea why, but that's why I don't hear it. But thank you. Thank you for the follow, everybody. I don't know why it's coming out of my speakers. It makes no sense at all. And now, of course, the alerts are playing like 50 times in a row. You know, that's what happens when you have technical difficulties. This is what's going to happen. All right, game 2. Hopefully going to find a better server this time. This one already looks better. Disable speakers on control panel. Yeah, it's just, I think this was I started the app when I had like the speakers as the Because I was listening to music earlier out of my computer speakers, and I think it just, like, preserved that, unfortunately. But yeah, let's try to find a better server for our competitors here. I think the first server we had was probably the best. It had didn't have anyone in the red. Is Flo suffering right now? Is there no good servers? Flo is unusable. Asia East. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Asia East, just like the chat called it, the pings are pretty much dead even at like 110, 120 a person. So this is probably the best right here. All right, well, if you're just tuning in, we'll take another quick look at the tail of the tape. Just so everybody is all caught up. Our competitors are ready. Here's some of their stats from War 3 champions. Both in bronze at the 1K MMR level. Both grinding it out on the ladder. Looking to bring glory to their respective teams. We have Clutch or Kick versus Down Under. Torii versus Guns. We will see who has what it takes as we go to Game 3. And Game 3 will be played on Tidehunters. All right, an exciting series right now. A real nail-biter, if I've ever seen one. Torii going for the build that she's been doing the past couple games. Really likes the early Fiends, later DK. Looks like we're going to see, again, from Guns, Blademaster Grunts. It's been working pretty well for both players. Ping looks good. Everything looking great. Definitely curious to see how our players make their respective adjustments. Both players know what they need to do. They've been talking with the coaches, talking with their teammates, doing everything they can to bring glory to the team. And the first win of the season. I'm going to adjust some of these icons right here. There we go. All right, as expected, Blademaster in production. So are the Grunts. Here comes the Voodoo Lounge, a little late. So unless this Blademaster is going to get started with creeping some nearby camps, looks like we may get started with this. Can loop back around and collect some of these items from the Voodoo Lounge. Meanwhile, Fiend production has begun. Expect to have 2 Fiends out for the DK to begin creeping. Blademaster going to get started on the Sea Turtle camp. Blademaster going to get that Mantle of Intelligence. Love the Farseer. Farseer would love an item like that. Blademaster won't mind it, but definitely looking for things along the lines of Slippers of Agility, Claws, Surflets. Torii getting started creeping herself. has the dust ready, already knows the Blademaster coming, doesn't even need to scout it. Gets the slippers the Blademaster is probably looking for. So Torii with the preemptive purchase of the dust. Feels she knows her opponent so well. Does not even need to scout it. And just knows it's the Blademaster, and she would be correct.
A player's forces are under attack.
All right, Guns looking to make his march down Tidehunters. Skeleton in place, trying to get some visibility. Unfortunately, this Fog of War line going to expire just before any visibility is shown. So I'm not quite sure if Torii saw this Blademaster marching down the map. Might not have. Going to go for the Sea Turtles first before the Snapper. Meanwhile, Torii cleaning up the natural. We'll see what the Snapper awards Guns. He's going to be rewarded with the Tome and the Wand of Illusion. Sold the TP back at the Voodoo Lounge. About halfway to Tier 2. A little late, I would say, on the tech. Definitely both these players, one thing they should work on and focus on is that macro.
A player's forces are under attack.
So as soon as Tier 2 is available, boom, boom, boom. Slaughterhouse, second hero, immediately. Same with the Orc, Bestiary, Shadowhunter, Torn Chieftain, whoever you are coming out second, immediately. Set you up for an incredible mid-game. And then the micro is just so much easier when you have 20 more supply than your opponent because your macro is better. Then you don't even have the micro.
A player's forces are under attack.
All right, Guns going for the level 3. Gonna likely get the level 2 critical strike just like game 2. Also finally got the claws he's been looking for all early game. Meanwhile, Torii, now seeing that the shop is crept out, has an idea potentially of the creep route that's been chosen. And one of the illusions going to scout the expo. And potentially scout the main base to see what's going on. Tier 2 online. Lich coming. Would love to see the Slaughterhouse as well. Meanwhile, Tier 2, the hero is out. And would love to see the Bestiary. There it is. Right on time. Pulling out some of these injured grunts. Will need to get healed up by some salves. While Torii pulling the lab. Quite a greedy pull, but will be rewarded with the Sobi mask. Very nice item for the Death Knight. So we're going to finish up this camp. Take out the High Priest, take out the Forest Troll. 35 supply to 39 supply, Tier 2. Buildings coming online. A light Slaughterhouse, unfortunately. Love to see us a little bit earlier. As Tier 3 upgrade has begun. Lich online. Lich coming down to join the undead forces. Blademaster now with the double claws plus 10. The critical strikes are really going to start stacking up. Death Coil used. Getting the Crypt Fiend in a good spot. The Weak Fiend is being targeted. Pulled back. And a nice long-distance Death Coil going to save it as the Grunts and Headhunters continue to focus fire. Shadowhunter gets nuked down by the Coil Nova of Torii. One hero down, but now the focus fire begins on the Crypt Fiends. One Grunt down, one Fiend down, and Shadowhunter down. Now focus fire onto the Headhunters. One Headhunter falls. Next Crypt Fiend also almost going to fall, but gets Death Coiled just in time. Going to pull back the injured Crypt Fiend, but it does pay the price. Next Grunt looking like it's going to get focus fired down, and now the trade's definitely going in Torii's favor. Death Coil's going out onto the Crypt Fiends again, getting them back healed up to full. Grunt's taking quite a bit of damage. No Shadowhunter available at the moment to heal it back up. Only a salve. And the Grunt, unfortunately, probably stuck in the control group, going to pay the price. Pops the dust preemptively just in case the Blademaster tries anything tricky, tries any wind walks. Grunt going to be focus fire down as well. Torii standing her ground, not going anywhere. Has another coil for the Fiend. Will use it, but uses it offensively instead. Tries to get nuked down, but pops the heal off to get stabilized. The Blademaster continuing to auto-attack down the Lich, who gets the last coil of this battle. No statues here to replenish the mana of the Death Knight. Blademaster continuing to slice and dice up the Lich. Lich with plenty of movement speed. Unfortunately, gets brought back into the battle, maybe stuck in the control group, and the Lich is going to pay the price of light coil. And now, just like that, Guns has turned the battle around. Ensnare onto one of the Fiends. And this Fiend will pay the price. Very wounded Grunt will be able to be topped off by a salve from the Shadowhunter. And just like that, due to some control group, slight technical mismanagement happens. Happens to all of us. The Lich paid the price. Lich will be revived, level 2. Both statues online. The Fiends are here. Death Knight and the statue's going to want to resume creeping as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Guns is doing just that, getting right back to work, wasting no time, wants to get the Shadowhunter to level 2. Picks up the Periapt, some extra health, going to help mitigate some of the nuke potential.
Players' forces are under attack.
Having an extra 150 HP really going to help deal with the Coil Nova. Torii going to get a big health pot. Plus 500 health going to really help with the DK. If the DK does get targeted. Since he can't heal himself, we'll be able to use the potion to do so. Lich in no immediate threat of being nuked down by the Blade, but needs to be cautious of the continuous auto-attack damage, because that is something the Blademaster is very capable of doing. Over 10 seconds, the Blademaster can maybe take care of much of the Lich's health. But with some well-timed death coils, we'll be able to manage it. Lightning Shield on the Fiend. Gonna pull that in, use it offensively. Love to see that attention to detail. Meanwhile, up north, Guns going to check on the natural. We'll find nothing is there. 45 supply to 45 supply. We're all even. One Raider has an ensnare. Both Raiders have ensnares for the statues. Have a Kodo. We'll be able to eat a Fiend.
A player's forces are under attack.
Both players with pretty good armies right now. You're going to want to push a little bit closer to 50, as close as you can. And then decide when is the right time to break upkeep. It will be soon, as the rest of the map gets crept out. Unfortunate ensnare from one of the creeps. Going to help do one of the Raiders' jobs. Not needing to waste one of their ensnares. Focus fire onto one of the Raiders. One Raider is going to fall. Defensive coil used, and the potion of dust of appearance used on the Blademaster. Blademaster revealed. First Grunt falls. Now the target is the Crit Fiend. Torii doing a great job with the defensive coils. Another Raider falls. Pulling the Fiend back. Not quite in time. Death Coil going to miss, and 2 Fiends are going to pay the price for that. Blademaster now making his way to the back line. Teleport from the Lich. Going to get on out of here. 33 supply from Guns. 42 supply, now 45. A lot of that in production for Torii. As Guns going to claim the Health Stone. Quite a nice item for the Orc. Making you want to play Blade. I mean, Blade is a fun hero. When played well, Blade is extremely powerful. We've seen it. Torii has returned, wants revenge. Gonna claim one of the Headhunters, gets the level 5 on the Death Knight. Gonna be a very powerful power spike with the level 3 coil. Hex used offensively on the DK, trying to get a nice timing on the DK. DK has the big potion, is gonna pop it. DK now stable, but the Blademaster doing so much damage to the Death Knight. Death Knight still has a scroll as well. Might have to use it and does have to pop it. As Torii whittled down a lot of the supply of guns, but that Blademaster continuing to grow in power is going to be quite a nuisance to deal with. If that blade gets level 5, that level 3 critical strike could be a game changer. And Gun's going to need to replenish his army counts. Torii doing the same. One statue online, getting a third. Death Knight getting healed up, has the potion of healing. But that, if you think about it, that is one level 3 critical strike. This whole potion. With the right amount of claws. And that's a scary thought. That's a real scary thought. You pair that with a level 3 Shadowhunter with level 2 heal wave.
Players' forces are under attack.
That Orc army gets real scary real quick. So Gun's on the verge of a big power spike with level 5 and level 3. Torii has it. Has the nuke. Has the level 3 coil, the level 2 Nova. Has the frost armor, but not a lot of melee units anymore. Just the Blademaster, but it will be helpful for the Blademaster. Will help quite a bit. Will lower the attack rate and the attack damage throughput of the Blademaster. Every little bit will help, and so will this potion of greater healing. Blade could have bought maybe another claws out of the shop to scale even higher. Also a Scourge Bone Chimes in there. Caught the early Expo attempt. Peon trying to do what he can to save his own life. But no amount of towers is going to save you from this army. Torii, a little low health on the Death Knight. Pops the health potion a little early. Down to half health. Blademaster whittling down the Death Knight, and it seems to be surrounded. Unfortunately, the illusions are in the way. Death Knight gonna pop the TP and get on out of here again. Does not want to lose or overstay or welcome. Torii knows that that TP was vital and not in the best spot. Death Knight was trapped. And the Blademaster tried to seek that opportunity. Tauren Chieftain has the tiny Great Hall. Gonna try to get this Expo up, and Tauren Chieftain helping Guns play the long game. Torii has an Expo of her own, just about to finish. Destroyer's now online. Destroyer's going to be tough to use against the Berserkers, against the Kodo. Not any grunts to really abuse with the Destroyers, and no spells to really devour at the moment. Something that could help here, potentially an Abomination or two to help with some frontline. Blademaster. Well equipped. Playing a little greedy. No town portals on the Orc army. Torii has the town portal again. Playing defensive, playing careful. No third hero. We've seen a variety of third heroes in this situation. Potentially a Pit Lord for some cleave, for some tanking capability. Perhaps Dark Ranger for some silence. And some Skeleton Warriors to help with the Headhunters. Oh, a nuke onto the Shadowhunter immediately, but the Shadowhunter has the potion of greater healing. Will he use it? Doesn't get it off in time, and Torii with the quick nuke. Shadowhunter down. Tauren Chieftain going to work onto the Blade Sorry, onto the Destroyer. Destroyer falls, and now the Raider is next. Death Knight taking quite a bit of damage from the Blademaster and the Torii Chieftain. With a nice line of defense here, making it harder for the Orc army to get back another nuke onto the Torii Chieftain, but the Death Knight going to fall. Blademaster pops the heal potion just in time, not going to fall. And Guns preserves the last stand of his army, the Blademaster. If this Blademaster were to fall, it could have been GG right there. But because the Blade is alive, there is still hope, even though the supply is down to 37. So Torii looking strong, looking formidable, low in gold, but the Death Knight healed back up, has the scroll as well, nice pickup.
The player's forces are
And he's going to put the pressure right back on. Blademaster potentially going to pressure the Death Knight immediately. That is the win and loss condition of this battle, is the Death Knight. All damage going out onto the Death Knight. Blademaster now focusing down the... Oh my god, what a crit! What a crit! The scroll of healing popped. Oh my gosh, another crit! Monstrous crits! Death Knight falls. And just like that, can the Blademaster solo this army? Guns taking so much damage. Guns gonna fall now. Blademaster dies. Lich is level 5. Tower's going to work on the remainder of the Fiends. They are fortified. Will the Lich and the Fiends be able to take down the remainder of this expo? Death Knight purchased back. Death Knight's back. And just like that, it's looking like Guns might not be able to hang much longer. All 3 heroes dead. Shadowhunter being revived, sending potentially the Headhunter to go rebuy somebody. You're going to need to buy, if you want any chance, it has to be the Blade. It has to be the Blade. And you have to get more crits on the Death Knight. Death Knight getting the nukes off on the Raider. And oh my gosh, so much damage. Pops the invulnerability potion. Not enough economy to buy back the Blademaster, it seems. Blademaster still not being bought back. Pop another heal. And this is going to be the end for the Shadowhunter. Potentially the end of the game. Level 6 now on the Death Knight. Torii with a vengeance coming through in Game 3 with everything on the line. And Guns potentially trying to have one final stand. I would imagine with a Blademaster purchase, it won't happen. GG is called. Game, set, and match. Torii Dactyl. Good game, well played. Torii is the winner of this best of 3, and that will award 2 points over to Clutcher Kick, 1 point going to Down Under. Well played, Torii versus Guns. Let's go to the winner's interview with our champion. Let's get her on the line.
Hey.
Torii, congratulations on your best of 3 win against Guns. How does it feel?
I feel real stressed, man.
We saw that we accidentally went to your camera after game 2 when you looked a little disappointed with the performance there. But going into your game versus an Orc player, how did you prepare? What was your general strategy?
Not gonna lie, I've been really stressed out with work, so I probably haven't really played in like maybe 2 weeks, except for like 2 days. So I was just like, I'm just gonna try and micro and catch him off guard, and it worked, kind of. Except for, I feel real bad because like I picked a bad ping server. Anyways, it worked out. But yeah.
Yeah, not too bad. So going into game 2 with a really tough loss there, what do you think you could have done differently in game 2 to avoid that outcome?
Probably picked a better server because I was in one spot and then my hero went all the way over into a corner, and it was just real hard because yeah, the ping was bad, which I feel bad about because Guns had the same thing first game, so I feel like that was just like he had a disadvantage, I had a disadvantage, so I feel like the third game was more fair for both of us.
Yeah, and in game 1, we saw incredible usage of the Death Coil in your main base, keeping the Lich alive as the Blademaster focused it down. Was that the plan in game 1, kind of stick to the defensive and bait him in, or what was your mindset in game 1 to get the victory?
I saw him, he went for my expo, and so I was like, he's headed to my base next. I'm just gonna sit here and let my towers do a lot of the work. And he went, I was surprised his Blademaster actually went right into my base. I think I had dust, so I was like, I should be fine. And yeah, it was not bad.
Yeah, very well played. And then game 3, you're 1-1. How do you stay composed? What was your game plan going into game 3 on Tidehunters?
Um, I think I just tried to like be more on the offensive because I think the other two games I was more defensive. I figured that if I was able to catch him off guard, I feel like I would have been pretty okay. So I tried to take some of his camps, which seemed to work a little bit. But yeah, all in all, it was not a bad game. It was good.
Yeah, it hurt us all in the chat to see the amount of critical strikes on your Death Knight in the middle of one of those battles. That was pretty brutal, but you stayed composed. You stayed in it. Any words for your teammates? Any words for everybody in the chat, the coaches? What would you like to say?
I don't know. My coaches are great. I feel like Guns was a super good opponent. I feel like I'm gonna hit him up to get some more practice because I feel like Orc is my worst matchup. But yeah, I feel like it's nice to have people support me. But yeah, Guns is super good. So yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
Good game. Well played. Congratulations, and we'll see you in week 2.
Cool. All right.
Have a
Have a
great
good
night.
stream.
Bye-bye.
Bye.